Hi, my name is Adolfo. I plan to do only 3 more videos about the post office, and then I'm gonna move along to other jobs that I had. Um, this one is gonna be longer, and the reason it's longer is because I wanted to hit a couple of points instead of making a lot of videos. The first one is gonna be I'm gonna talk about the test, then I'm gonna talk about the interview, the jobs, rural versus CCA, and the pay. Since when you take the test, you probably will try to get one or the other job. So right now, about the test, instead of explaining it over and over like a lot of people do, I'm gonna give you the link of the guy that I think has the best test advice, because I could give you the same scenario. However, the key things that I will tell you, by the way, he's gonna be in the link below when I'm done with this video, so you could just go over there, click on it, and he'll explain to you. Now, for the test, the key things that you need to know is that there's certain things that you have to be timed. Okay, like I said, I'm just gonna give you a quick view of it, but if you go to his, he has a more detail. Okay, the key things you need to know is like the names, find out common sense on the little certificate, what goes where. Everything is common sense. The one that if you don't look at it or whatever is like they'll tell you on what street is this, or what street was this, you know. So there's we'll say Martin Luther King Street, Martin Luther King Avenue, Martin Luther King Boulevard, Martin Luther King something else, right? Highway. And you gotta guess where the mailbox is at after they showed you. So you gotta make sure you get the right one. You cannot just get all of them just because they say Martin Luther. Also the zip code, you gotta make sure they match and everything. Like I said, one area is timed, okay? And the reason I wanted to talk a little bit about the test is because I taken 3 tests, okay? I taken the post office test, which I passed, security guard, which I passed, and the life and health insurance test, okay? Out of all 3, the easiest test for me was the post office one. The difference between being easy is that I'm gonna give you the example of the other 2. And I know this is postal work, but on the security guard, it's a little bit more trickier. But you pass, anybody will hire you. Why? Because the supply and demand is there. The health insurance one is the hardest one. It took me more than once to pass it. Once you pass it, whoever sent you there, whatever company, they're ready to hire you. If you say, you know what, on second thought, I don't want to go with you guys, everybody wants you. All they're gonna do is give you a script, learn it, go work. On the post office, and this is where the difference comes in, is I don't know if it's a 70 or 80. You have to pass, but we'll say it's 80. I don't know what the percentage is. I forgot. 75, 80. Like I said, watch this video. But if you score the lowest, it's gonna be harder for you to win the job. Okay, that's the difference. The supply and demand is no longer there. The demand is higher than the supply. Okay, so on that case, the post office becomes more difficult, but it's not that difficult, okay? Because I applied in 4 locations. On the 4th one, I no longer wanted it because I already had the job. So I applied on the first one was in the city. I went over there, and they said, "Hey, do you have a truck?" I said, "A Jeep or whatever." I said, "No." I was applying for the rural carrier, right? I said no, and I told them, you know what? But I have another appointment. They want me to go, and it's downtown in the plant. And she told me, "What are you doing here? Go over there." You know, of course, I guess, and I'll explain about advancing and everything. So I went over there. I did not know it was Amazon. It was another side job that the post office was experimenting at that time. So I went over there. I sat with the guy doing the interview, second floor, third floor, whatever. And I told him, you know what? I got another interview for CCA, for city carrier. And he told me what she told me. He said, what are you doing here? I said, what do you mean? He said, that one is a better job than this. So he walked me to the elevator, just like the Apprentice show. He was staring at me while I'm going down the elevator's closing, and then I go down, right? So then, at that point, I had my interview, okay? So, at that point, I knew that I'm ahead because I already knew my score. And I ask a lot of people's scores in there. I'm one of those guys that I know the Hofstede, whatever, if you go to college or you went there about business, it tells you how people in America don't want to talk about personal job stuff, right? Or how much they make and everything. But I like to ask a lot of questions. So I ask everybody, hey, what do you score and all this? Some of them were more hesitant and everything. I scored like 86 or whatever. 86, 90, 91, 92. I forgot, okay? Even though I scored 86, I had something called military preference, 5-point preference. So they gave me 5 more points, by the way. That's military preference. I know for you non-military, you will not understand that part. So that's why I say 90 something now. So when I was at the interview, I said, you know what? I'm receiving another call to go to another interview. So I was over there outside, and I was the next one in line. This is where I'm talking about the interview now, okay? On the interview, the highest score out of everybody I asked, everybody that scored the highest got one of the positions, okay? It was 1, 2, 3 or 4 of us in there that got a job, okay, as a CCA. And that's the moral of the story, is if you score high, you're almost guaranteed to score. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you take the test and you score at 80, 81, 82, 83, you're going to have a harder time to get a job. Also, you may say, it's not true in my place. We have people, I'm in the Austin area, we have people from Oklahoma that I know, Modesto Millen or whatever, Corpus Christi, some other guy, I don't even know, half a country away, I guess. I forgot where they all came to apply here. I'm like, why are you guys coming all the way over here when there's post offices everywhere? You know, it's also where the demand is at, you know. So it doesn't matter if you score high in a place when nobody's retiring or whatever the case, right? So for me, scoring high is the key thing for the interview. That I'm just being blunt and honest. A lot of people may disagree with me. They might say they scored low. Okay, you know, pat yourself on the back. But the way I saw people, I saw that if you score, we'll say 87 and 86 and above, you'll get applied. Okay. Now, what job is better, rural or CCA? Well, first off, you're applying, right? So you're applying everywhere. I recommend, if you have an open mind, apply in all of them. And I'll explain to you why, okay? You apply in all of them, in every place that you think, especially in a big city, you have more options to apply. You apply in every little position that you can. As soon as you get 2 or 3, and this is what I think a lot of people, if they could go back, they'll probably try to change this, even though they probably never thought about it. If you get 3 applications that you get approved, that you go to interview, I recommend you to go try to get a driver, meet him half, like on one of his little stops and everything, because they're the guys that have the most insight. Ask him, hey, how long does it take in your work area for a city carrier to advance to a CCA to advance to a city carrier, or RCA to advance to a rural carrier? Because you start as an assistant basically, and an assistant, you still don't have a career yet, okay? So if you ask him what's the turnover or how long, you'll know like, okay, this guy said that in 2 years they make it. Other place tells me 5 years. You're getting paid, but you still you haven't established a career. I know a guy in another place. He has 4 years. In my area, I think they had 3 or 4 years also, but there were people retiring. So that's what I'm saying. The guy has an insight. Say, you know what, man, it's taking like 2 years, but right now we got like 3 people retiring. They'll tell you. There's two scenarios how to advance fast. The first one is people retiring and they're gone, right? And the second one is somebody changing location from yours to another that creates a vacancy that you're moving up. However, just like people leave, people could come in, and you get stuck still as a CCA or a RCA, or I believe they call RCAs road carriers. Okay, so if you could do that, do it. Now, if you're just trying to get a job, then do it. However, if you don't have a Jeep, a truck, or whatever, just apply for CCA unless you're trying to buy a vehicle, and that leads to what's the difference, right? Because you're like, so what's the difference? Well, both of them deliver mail, okay? One of them has the little outfit, the little blue outfit, walking around, and the other one dresses casual, dresses the way he feels like, okay? Now, another difference, and I'm gonna name a couple of differences, because I looked at a couple sites also. Even though I work with them, I'm not super strongly familiar, but I know what they do. We do the same thing. The difference is, and you work side by side, like I'm working casing right here, one is behind me. So instead of me getting ideas from the city carrier next to me, because I can't see him, I get ideas from him. However, our casing, we only case our letters. They case everything. They put everything like in little tacos in there. Just roll everything down, rubber band it. They take longer casing. They come in earlier to start casing, and they leave after us, because they just case everything. We case one thing, and then we have 3 things that we have to deliver, while they put all 3 in one. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically, it's like I have hold on. Imagine I have 3 areas. I gotta pick up this one. I gotta pick up this one, and then if I have AdWords or magazines, I gotta pick up another one. And they're all in my truck. Theirs, they put them all in one. That's the difference, right? And the postmaster didn't like that I was doing it their way, and she always stopped me. I didn't understand until they said, "No, you gotta do it our way." So the casing, it's similar, but they do longer. Okay, so they're on call. They use their own vehicle, and you gotta remember the post to drop off on a vehicle. You're driving on one side, but the mailbox is on the other side. Sometimes they use the ROVs, which are on the other side, right? So we drive on the right side, on the left side. Okay, like I said, no uniform. Long time to make regular. That's according to them, but for me, like I said, depends on location. Everything is on location. Some locations take longer than others. Not everybody advances at the same time. Okay, road carriers are paid by the route. All right, less walking than us, or they don't have walking routes basically. Another one is overtime. They say that you could get it if K or J day. I don't know what they mean with that. Or you could earn an X day. Okay, so basically they get paid by the route. The route is established that it's an 8-hour route. They finish it in 6 hours, they get paid for the 8 hours. They finish it in 9 hours, they get paid by the 8 hours. So you can see the win and lose. If you're new, you're gonna take longer, okay? So you're not, you're basically doing an 8-hour route in a 9 or 10-hour shift. That's just plain and simple. Until you become faster, then you're gonna be profiting. Now for the city carrier, we wear uniforms, never on call. City carriers are paid by the hour, okay? We do walking. I had walking routes, and of course CCA gets many more hours than a RCA, and I'll explain why. Okay, so like I said, a rural carrier gets paid by the route. A city carrier gets paid by the hour. Whatever hour it is ticking, that's what you're gonna get paid. Now, what I used to like about CCA compared to rural, and also compared to any job, is this. Okay, so basically, you have a regular shift. Okay, and imagine you're getting paid $16 an hour. After you pass 8 hours, it's considered overtime. After you pass 40 hours a week, it's considered overtime. So you could get overtime in a day, or you could get overtime in a week. Once this one passes 10 hours, it's called double V time or V time, which means it's double overtime. You may say, what is double overtime? And this one, I believe, is 56 hours, okay? So when I quit it, this will give you one of the hints why I probably quit it. That's going to be my final video. I was doing 52 hours. And I used to hear them say, penalty, penalty. I didn't even know what penalty was, okay? So penalty is not on me, it's on them. Basically, I'm already going to reach 56 hours. So you may say, what is this, okay? So on this one, since I did the math already, it's time and a half, right? So that's $24. Same thing over here. After that, it's 24 hours, whatever, right? So you could imagine what double V time is now, right? It's $32 an hour. You heard it right. $32 an hour. Double V time. Think about that, okay? So, sorry, it started shaking. I hit it. So, the rural may finish faster or do everything faster and everything, but in the long run, CCA will make less than a rural, okay? But once you become a carrier, I did my math, I did everything. City carrier makes more than a rural because of the overtime, the double overtime, and all those hours that you're getting accumulated, just racking the hours, racking. Because you gotta remember, a city carrier doesn't make $16. That's a CCA, okay? A little bit more than $16, but I'm giving you an estimate. So that's the moral of the story. As for me, which one would I take? If I had to go back and everything was the same, I get hired the same day, I advance to a RC or a CC city carrier at the same day, I will take a city carrier in a heartbeat. Because A, I'm not going to damage my car. Even though they give you like, I think 40 some cents per mile additional if you drive your own vehicle, by the way. It's hard to deny it. And you may say, yeah, but I got to buy a uniform. No, you don't. They give you an allowance. It's better to be a city carrier because you don't damage your car. You do your route. You're getting paid by the hour. The other one, if he could finish in 6 hours. He's already getting paid for the 8 hours. But as soon as you hit that overtime, the double overtime, you're set, man. The day I quit it, another hint I'm giving you, I could easily tell there was at least 1 or 2 people gonna get overtime that day. No, 3 or 4 are gonna get overtime, easily. Easily. So that's easy money right there. I'm not saying easy money because you gotta work for it, right? But it's easy. Like I said, the pay, the rural makes like RCA probably makes like $2 or $3 more than a CCA when you're starting. And then when you drive, of course you make more. But as soon as I hit that overtime, and now, however, okay, on certain cities, they don't get a lot of overtime. On my city, like I said, I was doing 52, but that doesn't mean all the CCAs were making over 40. But some of them, majority were making over 40. Okay, so it all depends by location. On the other city, she could barely find work. She was doing 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 or whatever, you know. On another one, she was always tired, so I assume she was working a lot. So it also depends on your station. If your station has too many people, you're not gonna accumulate a lot of hours, and that's another reality check. Okay, um, if they need people, you're gonna make money. If they don't need people, you're gonna be on the bench, be basically on call. Besides that, hopefully, it gives you a lot of hints about the test. Like I said, it's gonna be a link below. It's easy. The test is easy, but you gotta memorize the streets, memorize everything that it says, and try to grasp it. One scenario gives you three options, like what's wrong. Is it the street, the address, or the zip code, or nothing? Compared to the other side, then you gotta pick it. You know, you gotta try to match the numbers. Someone want another one will say 95101, the other one will say 95010. You know, it has the same numbers, but one has two ones and the other one has two zeros. So you gotta memorize it. Okay. Interview. I said, you know, be normal. You know, don't go over there. Be normal. Dress casual. Score high is a key thing about the interview for me. Other people may say it's different, but that's my view. Okay. Jobs. Which one I pick? CCA over rural. But if one is hiring and the other one ain't, it's easy. If rural is advancing fast in the CCA that you're trying to go into and try to get the info, of course you're gonna be rural because you're establishing a career faster. Pay, I kind of give you overtime, beat time, and approximately how much they'll make. 16, the other one around 16 plus, the other one 19 plus, or 17, between 17 and 19. Okay, rural. I forgot how much. That's about it. Hopefully, this video gave you a little bit of guidance if you're coming in and doing everything. Okay, so my last two videos are gonna be things that I did wrong. They knew about it, by the way. It's only a couple things, and why I quit it. Okay, because I gotta continue with my other jobs that I've done in my life. So have a good day and good luck. Easy job, by the way. Don't complain, just do your job. If it's hard, don't show it. Go there again. Why? Because you're getting paid. Plain and easy, right? I'm old fashioned, so you're getting paid, work. So have a good day.